I thought I would go over with you something that I've been doing since we've been home quarantined, which is a delivery meal service. This one's called Purple Carrot. So the assignment I'm going to give you is I'm going to have you research 2 meal programs that you can, Mr. Volger's making me laugh, 2 meal programs that you could purchase. You're just going to research them online, and I want you to compare the 2. I'm going to put together a little comparison chart for you to fill out. But some of them are like Purple Carrot is one, Blue Apron is another. There's a lot of them, okay? So I want you to find 2. You can use the 2 I just mentioned if you want, or you can find other ones, and that's going to be your assignment. So I figured I would show you what they're all about. So the first thing you get is you get a big box. It's a refrigerated box, so it's a cardboard box, but it has refrigerated packs in it, and you get your meals for the week in it, and they're all pre-packaged like this, okay? And then you'll get some kind of recipe card or a book with the menu and the recipe in it. So what I'm gonna make today is stuffed sweet potatoes, okay? Purple Carrot, I should say, is a vegan meal service, okay? So everything is vegan, which means there's no animal products at all. So there are no eggs, no cheese, no meat, okay? Right, so here's some pictures. The recipes we've had this week so far, we did the Green Goddess rice pilaf, and we did tempeh Rubens, which Mr. Volger loved, although you liked the rice pilaf one also. Okay, so step 1, we have to have everything in there in our place. So let's go through what they give you, all right? So I have a family of 3. Purple Carrot only allows you to buy things by 2s. So you can feed a family of 2 or a family of 4. So this is gonna have 4 servings worth of food in it. I have a family of 3, as you know. So that extra meal we just save and we eat it for lunch the next day. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open your ingredients. And this is how everything's gonna be pre-packaged, which I don't love because there's a lot of plastic and things like that. So that's one of the things I don't like about meal services, and that's why I don't usually do them. But since groceries have been difficult to come by for a while and we're not supposed to be leaving the house, it seemed like a good time to do another one. The last one we did, Mr. Volger, what did we do? We did Blue Apron once before. I think before we had Jeremy.
Yeah.
Or when he was a small baby.
Purple Carrot's done.
So we like Purple Carrot better. Okay, so our ingredients are all here. So we have 2 of everything, so this is just 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to unpack the rest of the stuff, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to actually make the recipe. Okay, so we're back. So the first step is to preheat the oven at 425 and slice the sweet potatoes in half lengthwise and transfer to a baking sheet. So I've already washed these, and so sweet potatoes are very hard. So remember we talked about knife skills. If you put your knife in and then use the point to your advantage, push down, make sure you keep your fingers out of the way, and then use it across the top, it'll make it easier to cut things, right? So same thing, point in, pressure down, turn it, point in, carefully with your fingers, press it down. Okay, next step is to rub each one with a little bit of olive oil. So my little cow is gonna puke out some olive oil for us. Okay, and it wants these face down on this baking sheet. Okay, face down with that oil on it, all right? You can sprinkle with salt and pepper if you want. Now this is a step sometimes you might want to skip if you don't like things salty or you're on a diet where you can't have a lot of salt, all right? So you could just do it this way. But my family is fine with salt, so I'm gonna put salt and pepper on them, which I probably should do this way, and then reflip them and then put them in the oven. And then we'll come back and do the next step. Okay, so we're back. Our potatoes are in the oven at 425 for 30 minutes. And we're gonna go to step 2 in our directions, which says drain and rinse the chickpeas, which I already did. These were not in cans, these were actually in a little box. I just ran some water over them and I'm letting them sit over a bowl. half the cucumbers lengthwise and thinly slice into half moons. Okay, so here are our cucumbers. Again, they've been washed. It's okay if they're a little damp, that's fine. All right, so it says to cut them in half. So again, remember, you're gonna pinch it on the sides and cut half like this, all right? And then you're gonna put it on the flat part and we're going to thinly slice. I don't know if you guys can see. Keeping our fingers out of the way or just sawing back and forth. Remember, when you're holding your knife, if you need a little bit, if your knife is bigger, you can actually hold it here at the blade. But while you're cutting, you don't want to do this. If you have to get the force in, that's fine, or use the top of your hand. But when you're actually cutting, you want to just keep your knife gripped in your hand like this. And you can go as slow as you need. If you need to slow down and go slow, that's fine. Okay, so we're just gonna cut these cucumbers and then follow the next step. Okay, next step is parsley. It says pick the parsley leaves, then half and juice the lemons. In a large bowl, combine chickpeas, sliced cucumbers, parsley leaves, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay, so we're gonna pick the parsley off the stem. This is what parsley looks like. So it has a lot of stem. The stem is totally eatable. You can do that, it's fine. But this is telling us to pick it. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pinch using my fingernail. Okay, so now it's time to juice our lemons. So with lemons, first wash them, because if there's any pesticide or anything on the outside, you wanna get that off, right? The other thing that you want to do is put some pressure and roll it like this, which is going to bring out some of the juices. It'll make it a little easier to squeeze the juice out, okay? So we're going to take our knife. We're going to have, again, remember, I'm pinching with my fingers on the side and I'm making that tunnel to go through, right? And you don't have to clean your knife. I mean, I just had some cucumber on my lemon, but that's okay. It's all going together, okay? So again, I'm making that tunnel through with the knife and down, all right? Lemons have a lot of seeds, so you always want to squeeze them over something. Right. Okay, so now it's saying to put the chickpeas in here, the cucumbers also in here, and the parsley. And a pinch of salt. Now these are so big for me. It doesn't say to chop them, Mr. Folger. I'm gonna just do a rough chop because I don't understand why they're so big. So again, I'm following a recipe, but if you see something that seems like a little bit amiss, I say change it up. Because I just don't want a giant, I'm not a rabbit, a giant piece of parsley hanging out of my face. Okay, rough chop. And you see I'm using the edge of my knife to kind of scoop things up. That's fine, just be very careful. And if you have like a scraper, that's better. All right, a little bit of salt. Do you like my Mickey salt shaker? My Disney World? My father bought it for me. I need something to stir. All right, so we're incorporating the lemon juice and the salt. And again, I've never cooked this before. Brand new recipe. Smelling good already. Ooh, we got a chickpea down. All right, set that aside. It wants me to add olive oil too, but I'm not going to because that adds a lot of fat. So I'm gonna leave that off and my family can add what they want. All right, we're gonna make a sauce. Okay, so we're back. So our potatoes are in the oven. We made our chickpea salad and that's sitting. And now we're going to make a sauce. Okay, so this wants us to combine 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, which I squeezed in here off camera, white miso paste, tahini, white vinegar, and 4 tablespoons of water in a medium bowl. And then we're gonna whisk together the miso tahini, which is what we're making, miso tahini. Okay, so a couple of things. Miso is a paste that is made with soybeans. It's fermented. Sometimes they add barley or rice into it. So this is what it looks like. It's just a thick paste. And then tahini is made with sesame seeds, so it's a paste also. And this one is often put in hummus. So if you've eaten hummus, you've eaten tahini. Miso, it's in a lot of Asian cuisines, so you may have seen that before. Okay, so that's what we have. And then we also needed some white vinegar, which is in here, which I'm sure you've used or seen before. It's in salad dressing. We use it to clean our counters at school all the time. If you color Easter eggs, things like that, a lot of times you add vinegar, okay? So it says to just add everything here together and then whisk it together. I'm gonna use a fork because my whisks are over there and I have the silly microphone on. All right, so we're going to add everything. Miso smells really good. It's kind of like a soy saucy type of situation. And this looks a lot like peanut butter, but it does not taste like it. Okay, so you want to try to get all this stuff out. Now what I will say while we're doing this is that all of these ingredients that we've been using have all been found in this kit. But I do have to supply my own olive oil and my own salt and pepper. So those are not included. Okay, so instead of whisking this, I'm just going to give it a stir until it is combined. And that is done. Okay, our next step then is to trim the gailan. Now this is a kind of a Japanese broccoli or a Japanese kale. So it has the if you've ever seen broccoli growing, this I guess is what they're. It's flat. It looks like little flowers, just like broccoli does. But this has a longer stem. Let's see if we can find another one. Yeah, here's a bigger one. Okay, so trim 1/2 inch off the ends of the gailan and then chop the gailan into bite-sized pieces. Heat a large non-stick skillet with 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons for the double. We're gonna cook, toss occasionally until bright green, crisp, tender, which is gonna take 2 to 3 minutes, they say, and then we're gonna season it with salt and pepper. That's it. Okay, so now we're gonna plate. We have all of our ingredients. All we have to do is assemble. So plating is very important when you eat food because the prettier it looks, sometimes the more you want to eat it. So when you go to a restaurant, you usually get it nice and set up. And we'll do a project on plating as well at some point. All right, so what it says is to mash the sweet potatoes a little bit with a fork. I did that, you saw in the video. I used a spoon to try to hold the potato down because it was so hot it was burning my fingers, but you get the gist. I should have had tongs with me and I should have held it like this and did it. So when you do it, you know, something like that, just make sure you're following the rules. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of this sauce and we are going to put some on the plate. Okay, and then we are going to top with sweet potatoes. Okay. Okay. And then it says add the cooked gailan. So you're gonna put that on top. Okay, and then it says cucumber chickpea salad on top of that. Okay, and then it says to sprinkle with sesame seeds and Aleppo pepper. So this is spicy. You all know what sesame seeds are. So we're gonna do, this will be for Mr. Bolger. He likes things super spicy. So I'm gonna put a lot of pepper on his. So there you have it. So this is their picture. This is my picture. Looks pretty similar. Bon appetit, I say.